well, UFC 277. Definitely not on paper what the past few pay-per-views have been, but I think it kind of lived up to the hype. I mean, the main event was awesome, co-main was awesome, and like we had some cool moments like throughout the card. I won money on Drew Dober, thanks Drew. But anyway, we could just start from the top as always. We'll get into the main event and we'll spare Tiz's one for later.
Yeah, for later. I mean, it's not that I don't think because I don't think. Not that this card didn't have any hype around it, but I think it just delivered, you know? Like, I think everyone expected it to deliver, and you can't really say it didn't. I mean, we're going to talk about the main event right now, and I mean, just Amanda Nunes just, once again, just showed why she's the greatest. She's the greatest woman to ever do it, honestly. Like, and then, because I know we're going to get into, you know, whether or not you do this trilogy, and...
I mean, there's other options out there, but, like, that's what I want to see. I mean, before we get into that, I kind of want to talk about the fight.
Yeah,
just
of course.
Because that matters. Like, the first time, obviously, Pena got Nunes with the rear naked choke, but no hooks. It was kind of bizarre. Like, everybody kind of thought that she didn't look right, and this was obviously
including me, I'm going to be honest,
I mean,
yeah.
She did. I agreed with that, too, but, like, obviously, we still picked Pena. But... yeah. I don't know. I was kind of in the middle with it. Like, I definitely didn't think Nunes was at her best, but I think that I still thought like if anybody had the style to beat her, it'd be someone like Pena. But and even in this, fight,
I'm with I think I told you like I get to I guess we'll get into it once we actually talk about the fight. But how what she was saying afterwards and all that, like.
You talk about Nunes?
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
she could have turned the lights off with Juliana Pena anytime she wanted.
Yeah, I'm sure.
That came off pretty,
Yeah, as her face is like all lumped up, like her eye is practically closed. Like she's like, yeah, I could have finished her. I was like, oh my god, dude, like she still is like kind of overconfident, but I don't know. That's why I want to see the trilogy because I'm like, let's see this a third time because even though like this was like a one-sided. Dominant. Juliana looked tough. Like for like a 50-45 like type of fight, it was a lot closer than it looked like seems on the judges' scorecards. Because like Juliana like had her moments. Like I remember when we were watching it. I think it was round 3 when she threw up that arm bar and almost got her with it. Like we were like, oh my god, but that ended up not happening. Like Juliana was in it the whole time, despite like clearly not being as good of a striker as Amanda Nunes. I mean, you see that one highlight where she's just like running forward at her.
Oh yeah, and the man is just she wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, that was a like picture perfect counter shot to be honest. But yeah, Juliana. I mean, I still think she proved that she like deserved to be in there with her. Like this, I don't think people are still saying like it was a fluke the first time. I don't think it was a fluke. I really don't. I think there were circumstances that made it a little easier, but I still think that. If anybody's going to beat her in that division right now, it's Juliana Pena, and I don't know who else is going to be able to do something like that. But, I mean, other people have been saying that Valentina should get the shot, including Valentina. But, I don't know. I still think, like, at 125, like, there's still some... I don't know if, like, there's anybody who can beat her, but there's still people that are, like, for her to fight. Like, I still think you could make a Santos rematch because she didn't look that great in that fight. And also because I've watched that fight back, like, since then... I think it was like the third round is when that headbutt happened, and that was like that changed the whole fight.
Yeah,
and I want to see what happens if that doesn't happen. You know what I mean? Because like up to that point, Santos was really dominating that fight on the ground, although Valentina was dominating on the feet. But I still think that even besides her, that like there's the one fight with Chookagian and Manon Fiorot. I think the winner of that could definitely get a title shot. Probably if Fiorot would have more.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I was gonna say about Fiorot, like because I remember it being, just a prospect coming in, like, yesterday, and now she's already, like, I guess, I don't know, I feel like if Chookagian were to win, just because, like, I mean, Kaylin Chookagian being the more established name, like, they'll give it to her, but... I don't know, I feel like they would want to see more from Fiorot first.
Yeah, I don't agree. I feel like this is the opposite. I think they're trying to push her because who else is Valentina going to fight?
I mean, yeah.
Like, if they don't want to make that Santos rematch, she needs new blood. Like, she beat the living shit out of Kaylin Chookagian when they fought, so I'm sure they don't want her to win.
I think a Santos rematch isn't too far out of the realm at all. Yeah, it makes sense.
Santos definitely, like, I feel like she earned that in the first fight. Like, yeah, Valentina's a dominant champion, but, like, Santos showed she was human for, like, the first time in, like, years. Like, Jennifer Maia got that one round off of her, but besides that, I think, the last person to beat her was Nunes. So, there you go, back to that. Like, I don't know, like, it's really it's the same thing for both of them. Like, they've both kind of cleared out their divisions. Like, that's why I think for Amanda the only option is really to just run it back with Juliana a third time. I think she'll probably go up and defend the featherweight belt against I don't even know, but
imaginary person.
I don't. Well, dude, like who?
It's
like they don't even have rankings. Like we can't even discuss it. There's not like any consistent featherweight fighters. Like every featherweight main event has been bantamweight fighters going up or Norma Dumont.
Yeah, like what do you even? She's just carrying around this other belt, and it's like she's never gonna defend it against anybody.
Well, it's not even that. Like she's been defending it. It's just like not against anybody worthwhile. Maybe besides like Felicia Spencer. Well, she beat Cyborg because that division was created for Cyborg, and before Amanda Nunes was champ, Cyborg was the one beating all the cans at 145, and now it's Amanda doing that. Like it's so weird. I saw that the other, like how they didn't even have rankings for the division. It's like, yeah, you literally can't even talk about it. You can't, I mean, I guess it was just somebody coming in, but like, you're really like talking like quite like a huge difference here between whoever that person fights coming in and then Amanda Nunes. Like, that's like what Megan Anderson pretty much went through. Because like I remember before that fight, she had already lost to Felicia Spencer. So I was like, all right, well, Amanda could beat her in the grappling. The striking, I would only imagine what that's going to look like. And then the first punch that Nunes hit Megan Anderson with, Megan's eyes opened. Like she's like, oh my god.
The thing is, if you do Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes again, and Juliana Pena wins, then you have to do a fourth fight.
Do you though? I mean, I don't know. I haven't even really thought about it that far, to be honest. It's more just like I feel. You know what I think would actually be a big fight for Juliana if she beats Nunes? Valentina, because she lost to Valentina. Like, because this is the difference. Like Valentina's lost to Amanda Nunes twice already. So like for me, even though the second one was really close, I'm not ready to say that Valentina really is better than Amanda Nunes. Like I don't see that. And I think Nunes is just too big. That's like what it is. She's rangier. She can because Valentina the first fight. I think I don't really remember the first one as much, but I do remember Amanda was landing on the feet, and I think she took her down a few times. But in the second one, it was like a chess match on the feet, and Valentina was landing like a lot of leg kicks, but Amanda Nunes was landing some big shots, and like she didn't really hurt Valentina with a lot of them, but she was landing like the better punches, like they were cleaner. And I think that's just because she's bigger. But Juliana Pena, on the other hand, if she were to win in a trilogy, then you got Valentina, who had already beaten her, and then she can go up. Well, Valentina, at that point, she can say she deserves a shot because she's like, I beat that girl already. Beat her pretty, like, easily, too. I think it was a first-round armbar. It might have been second-round armbar, but either way, she did submit her. But, yeah, that's just kind of like how I feel like the future should go. I think that Fiorot, if she wins, they're probably going to try and give her a shot. Especially now because they're, like, coming into France. I feel like they might try and have, like, a big pay-per-view there with, like...
That makes sense, yeah.
You can have, like, Ngannou, maybe. There's a bunch of French fighters. I mean, Cyril Gane, obviously, is fighting in the main event of that card. Fiorot, if she fights Valentina, that's a co-main right there. So, yeah. I just feel like that might be where they're heading with it, but you really never know. I mean, I didn't think that they were actually going to book Nate Diaz versus Hamza, so anything can happen, right? But, yeah, I think we've exhausted everything about that fight, so we'll move on to the co-main, which was outstanding, dude. What a war that was while it lasted. Although Brandon Moreno was clearly like pushing the pace, like it honestly looked a lot like the last couple rounds of their first fight where Moreno was pushing the action, landing a lot of jabs. His boxing looked really crisp in this one. Yeah. Those head kicks that he ends his combinations off with, he did that really successfully in the first fight, still did it successfully in this fight, so I just thought that was truly like a great championship performance. And that liver kick that he finished him with, dude, that's like, I think that might be my favorite like type. It was
technically balanced. I wasn't necessarily as like explosive or fast paced as you would figure like between those two, but I mean, the last round where the finish came, like, man, that was a thing of beauty to watch. Like, I mean, not like necessarily because like body shots, they have to be just absolutely one of the worst ways to be, especially a liver shot. Like, that's just awful to just go through. But
just the way that like Cara France just dropped like right after, and that's just what happens. Like, you could be tough as shit.
Exactly.
That doesn't make a difference. You get hit there, it's over. Like, your body's
You're just crumbling. You're just crumbling to the ground.
My favorite liver kick finish is Cain Velasquez, free Cain. But Cain Velasquez versus Brock Lesnar, when he kicked him in the body and Brock just goes down. And he's just
that messed Brock Lesnar up for like that's.
Yeah, well,
honestly,
he had like problems with his organs like before that. It was like diverticulitis.
Yeah, diverticulitis, yeah. And then, oh my god,
so
yeah, dude. When
weak.
you suffer something like that, like, you're probably not fighting, like, anymore, at least for a really long time, and yeah.
Brock looked like a legit Viking going into that fight. That was when he had, like, the beard. Dude, he looked crazy. I missed, like, that era of the UFC sometimes. But, I don't know, Brock was on, like, every steroid that you could name. But, back to the co-main, though. Brandon Moreno now, obviously, like, after that, he's going to be fighting Figueiredo for a 4th time. Did you see Dana White? He said, like, I don't even know how he says this. Like, he goes, like, the UFC was, he goes, that was kind of disrespectful for them to let Figgy in the cage. And I'm like, you run the promotion. Like, what are you calling him the UFC? This is you. I'm like, you're the face. Like, I get it probably wasn't his decision, but, like, it's just, like, you can't, like, just, like, blame everybody else. But I don't know. I thought it ended up being an okay moment, probably just because, like, Moreno handled it with, like, a supreme class. And,
like he usually does, yep.
Yeah. I liked what he was saying. It was just like he wanted to be, like, an example for his daughter. But, yeah, I still think, though, that, I mean, I'm skipping a fight here, but I feel like it just kind of ties into this one. Alexander Pantoja with that easy submission over Perez. Like, when is this guy? Like, I can't believe that he just got a first-round submission, dude, and he's probably going to have to fight another person.
Exactly, yeah, I was about to say, it's crazy he's going to, because, exactly, you got to do this 4th fight between Figueiredo and Moreno, and then, that's just, yeah, man, I don't like that. Especially the way he just finished this fight.
I'm not saying that Moreno doesn't deserve to fight Figueiredo, but, like, Pantoja's earned, like, honestly, the way I feel is I'm going to look here. You could say what you were going to say because I'm going to look this up real fast before I get something wrong.
I mean, there's a reason why, like, certain ranked fighters and whatnot, like, they have no interest in fighting someone who isn't ranked, for instance. Because it's like, there's always that chance that you lose, like, you're setting yourself back, like, a significant, amount. And the fact that this guy should have already had the title fight, and he's going to have to fight another fight waiting.
Yeah. And I got my timeline now, right? I forgot who he fought before this, but it was Brandon Royval. Around the time when he beat Brandon Royval, which was a 2nd-round rear naked choke, that was when I think Moreno had beaten Figueiredo in the 2nd fight. And people were like, well, Figueiredo probably doesn't deserve a 3rd one because he got finished. But then they gave it to him anyway, which I thought was stupid at the time. And I thought that was the point when Pantoja should have gotten it because Moreno was the champion. And then Pantoja had already beaten him twice. And a win over Royval at that time, that's like a title shot, like, type of fight, like a title eliminator. And I just thought that was the time that they should have had it, but they never did. We got Moreno Figueiredo 3, Figgy won it, and now Pantoja's just kind of left in the dust here because Figueiredo's already beaten him, I think. Actually, has he? Let me make sure. Yeah, he has beaten him. Yeah. UFC 240. But it's just ridiculous. We're really going to have to see this man fight another top 5 fighter. I mean, I think he has, like, the ability to beat anybody in that division. Like, I'm not saying I think he could be the champ, like, right now. Like, I don't know if he'd beat Moreno or...
it's definitely that
I'm saying he has the potential to beat
it's definitely not that he can't, beat these guys. It's like he should already be getting a title shot, and then what makes you think he can't beat someone who isn't the champion?
Exactly. That's how I kind of feel.
There's always the chance, like, no one's invincible, there's always the chance that he could lose, he could get screwed in some way, and it's like, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you lose the fight, it's what matters, the W or the loss, and
he's going to have to fight someone ranked below him, too, unless he fights Cara France.
That's so dumb, man.
Like, I don't know if he's fought Cara France, he might have actually fought him already, but I'm not sure.
Yeah. I'm not
Doesn't
sure.
look like it. Oh, wait, nope, he has. Oh my God.
He has?
Dude, he beat him on tough, like, in the tough house.
Whoa.
What, damn, that was the same season with Moreno. That's because I think that's when they crowned the champ. Or no. It was the one that Tim Elliott won, I think, and then the winner got a title shot, if I'm not mistaken.
That's crazy.
But, damn, that is crazy. He beat him on tough, so, man, you can give a rematch maybe. I think there's alley for that. But unless he fights that rematch, he's going to be fighting somebody ranked below him again, which is just ridiculous. But I don't know. I mean, just seems like the MMA gods are not on Pantoja's side lately, and like I think it's just because he doesn't really talk shit, but he seems like he's starting to. I don't know how much it's really working though.
Who knows? Maybe he like. I mean, I would think he's just gonna probably use that as a way to like. I mean, because that's really all you can do, you know. Like you can't obviously book yourself a fight, but you can talk yourself into one. But
I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of how Pena got the Nunes fight. She made herself the number one contender.
Yeah.
Like, she's beating all these other girls. I think I'm going to beat her.
It does work, like, if you can do it right.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely works. But Pantoja, I mean, like I said to you in the Hurt Sportsbook, I liked when he said to Moreno and Cara France, he's like, yeah, he goes, both my sons are fighting for the interim title. All these guys. That was a good one by him. I thought the UFC should have gave him some more credit for that, personally. But I guess I'll go back to the heavyweight fight that I kind of skipped over from there with Sergey Pavlovich beating Derek Lewis by first round TKO. You know, we could start like either with the fight or the stoppage. I mean, the fight, I still think like it was going to be going Pavlovich's way, but the thing is,
he's definitely talking. Yeah, it's about the stoppage.
Lewis has like the biggest puncher's chance of like anybody in the UFC.
Yeah, man.
So like even though he was hurt, I don't like that they stop it when he's not clearly like down and out, because we've seen him like look at the Volkov fight on the Conor Habib card. Like he was getting beat up in that fight. I think he was injured coming in too. Like he had a bad back injury. He was getting hit to the body. He was exhausted. He's getting hurt, rocked, and then he ends up finishing him in the final 15 seconds. That's why you don't stop a Derek Lewis fight when he's still fighting back. Like Dan Mergliotta really dropped the ball on this one. I mean, I still stand by like that Pavlovich was probably gonna win, but I just come on, like you can't stop a fight like that. Like I feel like the heavyweight division.
I mean,
just, like,
especially a heavyweight fight, and when Derek Lewis is one of those heavyweights, it's like, you know, you just don't. I feel like it's so weird. I feel like I see more like just egregious stoppages within like the heavyweight division than I do other divisions. It's really weird. Like I don't really understand
I have a theory
why.
Maybe for like why that could be. Probably just because like, you know, that's the biggest dude like in the octagon. So if he hurts somebody, the other guy is really hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot more force behind those punches than there are at like for a flyweight fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you got to get there faster, or else someone could legit get like life-changing trauma, which is unbelievable. But that just shows you how good the refs are at their job. That we haven't really seen that happen.
Yeah, and you know, you're gonna get stuff like this, but it's just. It's always so just I hate when it happens. It always just leaves you with like hardly, you know.
I feel like this shit always happens in like big fights too. It's never like a fucking prelim fight between two like unknowns. It's always like
you just get so like very little to talk about, and then you can't really like, you know, determine like, you know, all right, this is what should happen next and all that.
Yeah.
But
I did say to myself like I think maybe like obviously Pavlovich should get another top 5 guy. But I think maybe the loser of Gane versus Tuivasa, because I think Blades already should fight the winner.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think maybe the loser of that main event should definitely be it. But yeah, sadly there's not as much to talk about for this fight as we would have liked to. It's just only the stoppage.
I'm sorry, Pavlovich versus Tai Tuivasa. That would be an absolute just banger, I think.
Is that you picking Gane in that fight? I think you just like didn't think of that.
I won't. You know.
No, I think Gane's gonna win.
Yeah.
It's not a good match.
Yeah. What? Like we're gonna cross that bridge when we get there. But you know,
yeah.
I'm just saying like, hey, if Tuivasa doesn't get it done, like that's the fight to make, probably.
I think that'd be a good fight anyway. Like it's basically
it'll.
I think it'll right the wrongs of this fight, because like what we wanted to know about Pavlovich is how would he do against a legit top 5 knockout artist. Tai Tuivasa is the exact same thing. So if we get that fight, that would be a good test. But I just feel like this card had so many unfortunate things, like Anthony Smith too. The broken leg, right? Is that confirmed that he broke it?
Yeah, and that happened right before this fight.
Yeah, well, not before the Pantoja fight.
Oh, okay.
I skipped the
Pantoja all right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But that
also
sucked.
just
That's like
sucked.
his second like fracture in his leg in the past couple of years. Because remember when Rakic was kicking his legs, he broke his leg that day too. Like I don't know. I don't know if it's just that he's getting old. Like, he's had a lot of fights, Anthony Smith. Like, I think he fought in Strikeforce, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I feel bad for Anthony Smith, man. Like, I feel like he deserves to be talked about more as like one of the better modern light heavyweights, like
he
of
definitely
generation.
doesn't get the credit.
And yeah, no, he really doesn't. And then this is like, I mean, at least with this fight, this one got out of the first round.
Yeah.
But it's just, damn, dude. Like,
It's always like with a question, because like Anthony Smith is another guy. It's not really the same with like Lewis, but Smith has got such great jiu-jitsu. He's slick with it, man. Like, he gets him, like Ankalaev got him on his back, and like Anthony Smith, if he's able to like throw up a triangle or an armbar, like if he can get one of those, it can end pretty quickly.
I mean, Ankalaev and that ground and pound is
it was pretty bad though. I don't know if he was gonna ever get any submissions. Yeah, you're right.
That is like, that just look, and even what he said, it just looks like unstoppable if he gets you there. And
I want to see him versus Yuri, man. Like, I don't know. Like, we could definitely debate all day who should get the next light heavyweight title shot. I mean, Yuri wants to fight Glover. Jan wants the title fight. I would imagine that Ankalaev probably wants this title fight. I think maybe the way you go.
Oh yeah, I saw something about Ankalaev. It was like how many more guys I have to beat until I get.
Well, he's right. I mean, he's got a point. It's just kind of like a logjam right now at the top because, with the Yuri Glover fight, it was so close that like.
And Yuri wants that fight again too.
And I feel like you should give him that. Like, he's the champ. He's earned the right to like dictate who he wants next. If he wants that fight, it was a great fight. I'll see it again.
Yeah, I feel like you don't even, at least anymore, like you just don't see that like very often. Like the champion picking their shots and who they want to fight.
It's badass, man. Like
really,
you're like, I want him. He may have almost beaten me this time, but I'm gonna show you guys I'm much better than him.
It's a lot of just whoever, which is obviously fine. Like you're the champion. Like you got to fight who's given to you, but it's always like it's really cool to see like especially after you just beat this guy. It's like, nope, wasn't my best performance. I want to do it again.
Right,
it's awesome.
And like I think if they do that, then you can maybe get Jan versus Ankalaev, number one contender fight. Maybe good 3-round fight on pay-per-view or a big fight night, one of those. Because I think that's a huge fight if that happens. It's basically number 1 versus number 2 right there, or I guess 2 and 3 because of Glover now. But I mean the main card, it's pretty good. Not the best. I mean, we had some unfortunate.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it would have been just fine. It's just always these just abrupt finishes that are just the worst.
Yeah, at least the championship fights were good. That's all you could ask for. The co-main and the main delivered.
Seriously.
Those were amazing. Like, honestly, like I kind of like almost want to go back to the main event for a second because I just thought of something. With Amanda Nunes too, I think she proved a lot about how tough she is. Yeah. Because she did take some shots. She had moments of adversity in that fight, and she still dominated the fight. And she looked good in round 5. She was still like good in terms of cardio. I just they both really proved a lot about themselves in that one. Like that's why I want to see a third one.
I really just see Amanda Nunes like no matter how long like she continues to fight for, like just retiring with both the belts over her shoulder. Because I mean, especially now, it's like we're gonna do the Juliana Pena trilogy, and she wins that. It's like what else is left for her? The reason that you're doing that Pena trilogy is because she's already cleared out the rest of the division. So
there's Ketlin Vieira. I know that there is Ketlin Vieira, but I
really like Ketlin Vieira, but
she's good. But I think Nunes is pretty much just a better version of her. If that makes sense.
There's been cases where there's like. You don't necessarily need to see the fight to, know. Obviously, barring something like out of nowhere, like to know like what the result's probably gonna be. So you just, it's just hypothetical and shit, and it's like
everything that Vieira does. I think Nunes just does like a little bit better. That's just me. Like she's a good striker. She's got.
It's that simple. Yeah, it's that simple, really. But I did really like what you brought up about Shevchenko and Amanda Nunes.
People are talking about it. That's kind of why I wanted to bring it up because, like, personally, I don't think that should be the fight to make. I do understand it.
If once you let the more dust settle and all that, if it fits the timeline, it makes sense. Like, why not?
Yeah,
it would sell, that's for sure. Like, it would do
100%.
a bunch of numbers.
They'd be talking shit, too. Because, like, I think they genuinely don't like each other. Like, I think that's a real beef right there. That's not one of those bullshit ones for pay-per-views. I think Valentina definitely doesn't like Nunes more than Nunes probably doesn't like her. I think for Nunes, Valentina is, like, just, like, a pain in the ass, like a gnat. Like, stop talking. Like, I already beat you. But to Valentina, like, that's like the one girl that she cannot beat. Like, it's just unbelievable.
It is like
both fights were close too. Like, that's the crazy part. Like, it's like that's why I think it's a size thing more than anything. I don't know if it's a skill thing, but I'd like to see it still. I mean, I still think Valentina has more of a chance at beating Amanda at bantamweight than a lot of the other bantamweights.
I think that I really want to see how that pressure would sharpen Valentina. You know, I think like all the pressure I easily obviously Amanda like.
I think
the
Amanda's
title's on the line, but
like,
yeah,
even
like,
if Valentina wins, like Amanda's legacy is like cemented as the GOAT. I think. Like, I don't think Valentina beating her at this point really makes it any different. But
down the road, maybe we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we can get to the prelims a little bit. I was going to start with this, but we'll start with the fight that was after it. But the Morono the Jedi fight, that was pretty good, actually. It was funny, like, remember we were literally talking about it, we were saying, yeah, if Semmelsberger doesn't hit him with that big shot, that's probably what this fight's going to look like. That's what happened. So we picked Semmelsberger, but we weren't stupid. We did figure that if he lost, that was probably how it was going to look. So Morono did look good. He's like the ultimate underdog. Like, that dude does not look like a fighter.
Dude, he really is.
Like, I'll put like a picture of him on the screen, like when I edit this, like just to, if anybody doesn't know who he is, like he really just did not look like the guy who would beat Matthew Semmelsberger to a casual fan, but he looked really good in this fight. I mean, yeah, I'm very impressed with Morono. I'm always impressed with Morono. I feel like after his wins, like I feel like he always beats these guys who
he's scrappy
against.
Really scrappy.
From Texas too. I think that's probably why. But I guess I kind of want to move on quick because I do want to get to this moment of truth. I can't really do it that much on this table. It kind of sucks. But Dober versus Alves. I'm richer. I beat Tiz in the bet. I was so hyped. I was watching that fight. I think you were at work at the time, so I broke the news to him. This kid was stocking shelves, and I was sitting here watching my money Tiz is literally at work, and I'm stealing money right out of his paycheck. How incredible is that? Like, I truly think that that's like the best part of it. But
Rafael always did all he could to protect my $5.
It was a great fight. There were moments where
another guy that suffered the body, and of course he had to lose by a body shot, man. Just to even more just add to like my just cringing of the fact that he lost, and then the fact he lost to a body shot, which is
I don't even think it was like a liver shot. It was like a punch to like the solar plexus. Like, I've never even seen that. That was unbelievable. Like, that just shows
brutal,
how much power
dude.
Dober has in his hands.
No,
like,
seriously, yeah.
That was a great fight though. Like, even in the first round, like I almost shit my pants.
Dude, obviously, he was throwing a lot at you. That was, I really got to give it to you. That was something. Like, I'm actually very impressed.
He's a hard guy to get out of there. That's why I figured that he could probably get this one done, because I figured he'd be able to defend the submissions. Because as good as Alves is, he's not Islam Makhachev. Like, everybody counts Drew Dober out in the grappling department just because of that.
That Makhachev fight probably, honestly, probably just sharpened the grappling department, a lot of things into that he took into this fight here, like, because I mean that's it, like they say iron sharpens iron for a reason, like, and now you got Islam Makhachev fighting for the title, and then Drew Dober just had this incredible performance. This like a lot of it didn't come easy at all. Like, once again, Rafael Alves was not going down with that fight, but.
Fucking fantastic.
Oh my goodness. That finish was
won me money, so I'm even happier about it. Best fight of the night, if you ask me.
Cringeworthy for me to watch, but
yeah, like I said, this man is literally just like
impressive,
job
very impressive.
But literally though,
worked
like
hard for that $5.
Yeah, it was a solid, probably like half-hour work right there. But literally though, like I keep thinking about especially after this fight too. Like I was thinking about Islam more. And, like, I think about Drew Dober, Bobby Green. What everybody says about Islam, which is intriguing to me, is how strong he is. It's not, like, the technique. It's not, like, anything special like that. It's just when he gets his hands on you, no matter what you do, there's just nothing you can do to stop him. And that, like, I don't know. I'm not like committing to a pick or anything, but that starts to make me lean a bit more towards him than Oliveira, because like I think Oliveira has the technique, but I don't know if he has the strength to go with this guy. Like I'm gonna definitely watch like a bunch of fights leading up to that one, but
that matters a lot
that.
too. When like you can sprawl to a bunch of different positions and whatnot. If you have that kind of strength, you can secure a lot, like a lot, literally on anywhere on somebody and get them to tap. But like,
yeah, because like Islam, like, because people say like, oh well,
I think it's really, I think
what?
something like that's really easy to underestimate. Is what I'm trying to say.
I don't know, like, for me, it's. For Islam, like they say, like, oh, well, what if Oliveira wraps him up in a guillotine on a takedown? But like that's not really Islam's style. Like he can do that, but like he's got great trips too. Like he does throws. Like there's many different ways that he could get Charles Oliveira on the ground besides doing a blast double straight into a guillotine. Like he's not stupid. I mean, he trains at probably one of the greatest lightweights, if not the greatest lightweight of all time.
Yeah.
And like his skill set is eerily similar. I think it's a little actually, ironically enough, I think Islam actually has a better style for this fight than Khabib would have against Oliveira, because Khabib is more of a lower level takedown guy than that. Because Islam, he does a lot of his work in the clinch. Khabib was always a guy, he's trying to take you down like by your legs, and like that is where you can get wrapped up in a guillotine. Like we've seen Khabib wrapped up in guillotines before. So it's like I think Islam being more diverse with his takedowns would be smart. So
essentially, you know, in a clinch situation where Charles Oliveira is probably expecting Islam Makhachev to sweep the leg and get him to the ground, he's just going to work him in the clinch all against the fence.
Well, I think, like, Oliveira, I feel like, thinks he's going to go lower level, like, with his takedown, which I think he will. I just don't think he's going to do it recklessly. But, like, if he gets him up against the cage, that's the last thing he should be worried about, because his trips are insane. Like, every fight that I've watched him in, he has, like, insane trips. And I think that that's something that Oliveira has to worry about, because at least if it's like a double leg, he's in Oliveira's guard. But if he trips him, he's already on top in half guard, which for a wrestler is like the best place you could be in.
Yeah.
And you already know that Islam can pass the guard and do a lot of damage while he's doing it. So that, I don't know, like we kind of went on a tangent there. I mean, I just enjoyed like thinking about. I always enjoy thinking of that fight just because I think it's like, you know, stylistically, it's just one of those matchups that you just, who knows what's going to happen in this one. They could stay on the feet all 5 rounds for all we know. But I guess moving on to a couple more moments on this card, I swear to God, I think we were the only people that were picking Hamdy Abdelwahab.
Oh, yeah. I did, because once again, like, not that I didn't see the hype behind Dontel Mays, I just felt like, you know, it was more, nobody really knows who Hamdy is. And Dontel Mays is the up-and-coming, you know.
Like I said, right when I saw like that he was doing bare-knuckle MMA, he had that one fight where he literally just came at the guy 100%, and then even when he tried to finish him, he literally just punched him in the back of the head relentlessly, because he just goes crazy like that. And I said that's going to bite him in the ass, because like
he's physical.
Yeah,
and I mean, credit to Dontel Mays, because really watching that fight, like, I thought that last round secured, like that I thought that last round was exactly what Dontel Mays needed, and then the judges actually, the split decision, you know, was the right call, and then they actually went to Hamdy's favor, and that actually surprised me. I was like, oh wow, all right.
See, I thought Hamdy deserved. I thought the wrestling was like that, like, because we were talking about that before too. Like, besides the craziness, his wrestling credentials are outstanding, and he was able to like control him and land some big shots like a lot of the time. I remember watching that fight. Like early on, I think it was, I don't remember if it was right before the Dober fight. It was definitely close though. But either way, I mean, he's a tough dude, like, to beat. I think it's just like a different level of just fury in there from that guy Hamdy, dude. Like, I think that I don't know like where he goes from here. I don't think he's championship caliber by any stretch.
Oh yeah, you gotta keep.
He can make some fun fights, that's for sure. I think you should put him against whoever. That fight was at 205, I think. I could always look that up, but I think it was at 205. I'm going to make sure, though. I feel like... I have it up right now. Oh, no, that was heavyweight. My bad. So, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, we got to put this dude in some slugfest. What are we doing? Oh, my God. Give him, like, every... like Chase Sherman. That's the fight. That's the fight I need to see. Hamdy Abdelwahab versus Chase Sherman. But, yeah, we'll move on from there. One more moment, I guess, from UFC 277 that I mean, we don't have to spend too much time on it. I just feel like it was just too crazy not to mention. But the double back fist in the first fight of the night with Blood Diamond versus Orion Koski, that was cool. I thought that was cool. I was just like literally praying for a double knockout. Like I was like, that'd be so awesome.
Oh my goodness.
I need to see that. Who would win? Like if that was the case, would they have? I wonder if they would have to like go to the replay and see
who
made
landed
contact
first.
Or no, it'd probably be a no contest. Actually, I'm thinking about it because I think about the fight. It was Gray Maynard. I know that Gray Maynard was Rob Emerson, and Gray Maynard he slammed Rob Emerson, and he broke I think like a rib, and Rob Emerson tapped, but Gray Maynard on the slam he hit his head on the ground and he knocked himself. Like he wasn't out, but he was like he couldn't get on.
Oh
like,
my!
He rolled like because when the ref stopped the fight, he was trying to get him off, and he literally like rolled off. He was out of it, and then they called it a no contest because they said he knocked himself out too. So and Gray Maynard like to this day is like bullshit. Like he should have got the win for that.
Yeah, I would definitely be called no contest. I mean, especially if it's with with literally the same exact strike. Oh my god!
How cool would that have been though? Like I would.
Dude,
I want to see a double knockout.
It's
been too long.
I was curious before, like where I've looked up literally a double knockout. I was honestly really surprised to see like it's never happened in UFC. It's only like regional promotions and stuff.
Like two people throwing
exactly. I had to watch
time.
it anyways. Like this is just too fascinating to like not look at least one.
It was just awesome, like, because when they both land, they both staggered back.
Yeah, I saw the look on Koski's face. He was like, "Did that just happen?" And then Blood Diamond was just on the move.
I think Koski might have been a little more hurt than Blood Diamond was, to be honest.
He looked stunned. More like either like from
that was a great
half
fight,
from the
honestly.
strike, and then from like what just happened. Like we just almost knocked each other out.
Yeah, I love that moment. That was truly amazing.
That was
I'll
awesome.
leave it at that. But UFC 277, another pay-per-view in the books next month, or actually this month technically. I think it's like August 20th. It's UFC 278 with Usman versus Edwards 2, Salt Lake City. Leon Edwards doesn't even know where that is, but he'll get there, I'm sure. But we'll definitely talk about that when the time comes. Obviously, right now, though, we're not going to be doing any more pods until we're done with the documentary. Like we said on the Hurt Sportsbook, if you didn't catch it there, we are filming the Fight Week doc with Shane Myles in a new series that we're starting called The Finishing Touch. And we want to like fully focus on that, so we don't want to make any pods in the meantime. We just want to like really just barrel down and work on that. But yeah, I guess, if we are going to talk about next week a little bit. Oh yeah, I should say this. I might do a special like episode of Talking Tough after that card at some point. I'm not sure, but depends on the workload, I guess. But next week though is the Tough finale, and also UFC Fight Night, Hill versus Santos. I don't know if you want to start with the main event, I guess, in this one, or
I mean,
I guess
we
we
can
can probably just talk about that, and then I'll talk about Tough a little more. But Jamal Hill versus Thiago Santos. I'm gonna look up the odds, but either way I got Jamal Hill. I feel like this is a bad matchup for Thiago Santos. Like, I don't.
Jamal Hill is a problem, man.
He's got such power in his hands, dude. Like,
exactly,
it's scary.
dude. I just these guys that can just seriously with one strike just put you out just like that at any given moment. Like they come off so dangerous to me because you really have to stifle. Like you really have to stifle that because I mean you obviously can't expect it. Like I mean you can obviously like see the strike coming and whatnot, but you can't like if you get hit by it you can't really expect whether or not you're gonna get knocked out.
Yeah,
so
both of these guys, honestly, like the way that they punch, like I don't know, like I think that any of them could really like put either guy out, but I think that Jamal Hill is just faster.
Exactly, he's faster on his feet, and that's just the kind that makes.
Thiago Santos is like almost 42. I think like not almost 42, like almost 40.
It's kind of like in in a way the Vasiv and RDA fight.
True. Yeah, that's a good one. Except although I do think that he's by the way, he's a minus 260 favorite, and Thiago Santos is plus 220. But I think that's fair.
No, yeah, it is.
Because Thiago Santos has like definitely a big puncher's chance, that's for sure. So, yeah, I still think that Jamal Hill's probably gonna win though. I think he probably is gonna knock him out, to be honest. I don't know if it'll be early, but I think he'll definitely be able to do it. And Yeah, I mean, it's more for me like a matter of what round, because I think Jamal Hill has like some of the fastest hands in that division. So I'm definitely like intrigued to see if he can get it done. I want to get the odds for the whole card because I'm kind of like curious to see what the tough fight ones are. God, I forgot DraftKings.
Yeah, it's gonna be really cool. The tough people
Yeah, I'm
on
excited
this card.
for that. Okay, here we go. There's Muhammad Usman versus Zach Pauga. Like I said, I do like the odds for this. Zach Pauga is a minus 225 favorite, and Usman's a plus 190. I do think it could honestly be spread even a little more. I feel like Zach Pauga, like, I would imagine that he's probably going to end up being my lock of the night, even though I haven't really looked at it that deeply yet. Just because I think that Usman didn't really look as impressive in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching like his career anyway since like Kamaru was like winning the belt and stuff, because that's kind of when he started in like Titan FC and stuff. And even like back then, like he still kind of shows like the same flaws that he had in the beginning. He's a little better, but like I just don't think he's good enough to beat someone like Zach Pauga, because Pauga, his striking is unbelievable, and I think he's got the wrestling defense because he trains with Curtis Blades. I think he's like, if not his main training partner, he's one of his main training partners.
Takedown defense and striking they honestly go hand in hand. Like, because if you're beating up somebody so bad on the feet, like, you know, they don't want to keep taking that. They're gonna shoot for a takedown, and you can. If you can stuff it, like, you know.
Because like even in the semis, like Eduardo Perez, like he was kind of piecing Usman up like early, and like Zach Pauga is not going to fade. Like that's the thing. He's going to do that all 3 rounds. Like, and he has the power too to hurt you, like really badly. Like Usman's a tough dude though, so I don't know if he'll be able to finish him, but I do think that this is going to be just domination on the feet by Zach Pauga from beginning to end. I think he's just going to light him up. But on to the other Ultimate Fighter finale matchup. I actually like the odds for this one too. Brogan Walker versus Juliana Miller. Juliana is a minus 130 favorite, and Brogan Walker is plus 110 an underdog. Now, Brogan Walker, like, she's pretty good all around, but I think, like, on the feet, she's a little slow and, like, kind of clunky. And Juliana, she comes forward, like, crazy, like, just relentless pressure on the feet and on the ground, to be honest. But she doesn't really give you a chance to breathe, and because of that, she does kind of get hit sometimes herself. She kind of has, like, a Nate Diaz type of style, like, coming forward like that. But
she takes one, gives one.
Definitely. That's definitely how I describe it. But even besides that, though, like, her takedowns are really good. Like, even in the semifinals, she hit... who did she fight in the semis? Oh, Caitlin Neal. She hit Caitlin Neal with, like, a couple, like, lateral drops that were just insane. And she just immediately takes the back because her jiu-jitsu is, like, literally unbelievable. Like, top tier for sure, like, already, I think. Like, I'm curious to see how Brogan deals with that, because it seems like every time that Juliana gets someone on the ground, they have no idea how to stop her, because her jiu-jitsu, it's very like unorthodox, because she can definitely hurt you from like different positions. Like she'll roll for a leg lock, she'll go like I said, she'll go for lateral drops, which are risky, because lateral drops you might end up on your ass, but you got to be good at it to really not only get a lateral drop but then to jump to the back. Like that just shows that she's been practicing that like for a long time. And I don't know, I just feel like for me, Brogan Walker is like more of like a safe fighter, and I think that Juliana Miller's aggressiveness is going to be like what propels her to win, because I think she's going to make it into a dogfight, and I don't think Brogan has like the speed to deal with that, and on the ground I don't even think it's close, to be honest. So I think that Juliana Miller wins that one. But yeah, my picks for those ones are Miller, Pauga, and then Jamal.
Yeah, and a fight like that, you know, from a betting standpoint, like I just tend to side with the volatility rather than, like, you know, whatever the more safe bet is and whatnot. Like, what were the odds for? You said Brogan Walker was.
She's plus 110 underdog.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those odds are pretty close. Yeah, no,
that is super close.
And they should be, because Brogan, she's a good fighter. Like I kind of slept on her at the beginning of the season because I wasn't too impressed by her first fight, but her second fight, she really looks good. Like I realized, like, it's not really like that she's not that good, it's that her style isn't really like the most like fan friendly compared to the other ones that were in the house.
What this tells me is that Juliana Pena Miller just has more avenues to get a win. Whereas Brogan Walker, if she can execute her game plan to a T, like
everybody I've seen try to outpoint Juliana Miller usually has not been successful lately. So that's just why I feel like this isn't going to go too well for Brogan. But Brogan's good. I still think she should be in the UFC. I think a lot of the people from Tough should be in the UFC, like in terms of this season. Like
this is in the season. Then this card's in the Apex, right?
Yeah, it is. It should be there. Honestly, I like that for the Tough finale. I
just wanted to ask more from because of judges and stuff.
Yeah, and honestly, the cage size kind of matters. For fights.
Wow, I tend to forget about that. Now that they're actually out traveling, exactly. Now that they're back traveling and stuff,
you forget about it. Yeah, that does matter for certain types of fights. Like honestly,
I like this spot for Juliana Miller. I've been doing, and then the odds sound pretty good too.
The small cage definitely helps her.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Brogan doesn't have many places to run, so obviously up against the cage, I think Juliana Miller is insane in the clinch. She's
exactly. You just mentioned how much she keeps pressure on somebody. Like
she literally does not give them a second to breathe. Like she's probably my favorite fighter in the house that I saw this season. Like I enjoy. That's why when she followed us on Instagram, I was hyped. I was like, no way.
That's awesome.
Anyway, besides that, I was honestly thinking about getting into the Cruz versus Vera fight just because like we might not be done with the doc in time for that. But like, I don't know. Like I'm just not sure about what's gonna happen. Like I feel like Cruz has got such great like elusiveness, and his experience is definitely like a factor in this one because he's fought guys who come forward like this and like are trying to just pretty much walk you down and beat you up. But Vera, man, like he's fast, he hits hard. Like I remember, like it's like we've always said this when he fights. Like the improvements that he makes from fight to fight is truly just insane. Like to go from a guy who's like barely beat Sean O'Malley to someone who just beat the shit out of Rob Font and is now fighting like a former dominant champion and dominant.
Yeah,
Cruz. Like,
dude,
it's crazy the arc that this guy's had in the UFC, and like. I don't know. It's either Cruz is gonna get beat up bad, the leg kicks are gonna be heavy, and it's gonna screw Cruz's movement up, and that's just gonna lead to him eating more punches, or Cruz is gonna be able to just use his footwork, evade all the punches, and then just kind of outpoint him like he does to everybody. But I don't know. Like, do you have any opinion on this fight, or are you as unsure as I am?
No, yeah, because it's just the Marlon Vera thing, right? Just this is somebody I don't really think I've seen like somebody who just I don't want to say change like in the sense that he doesn't get better, because the fact that he is getting better with just each given fight, obviously as the opponent gets even harder and harder.
Spinning wheel kicks now,
dude. It's like, crazy. What? Like I want to know like what goes on, during his camp.
He does train with Jason Perillo, who's awesome. He's the guy who coached Bisping, Cyborg. There's one RDA.
It just seems like him and his team just really break down who they're fighting next, and just really like going through all the possible here's how you can attack him, and then you outpoint him this way, or here's how you can finish him. Like
Perillo's smart, man. Like he knows how to make a game plan. Like I always love hearing Bisping tell the story about how Perillo watched all the film of all Rockhold's fights, and he saw in every single one of them he drops his right hand. And he's like, that left hook will be there. I promise you it will be there. Keep throwing it, and there's going to be a point when it's going to land and you're going to get him. And that's exactly what happened in the first round. Like
that's so cool.
Mystic Perillo right there. Prophet Perillo.
Yeah, bro.
But yeah, that was a great moment in UFC history. We love Bisping. But honestly, both of them have good camps because Cruz has Eric Del Fiero and Alliance MMA, and I think that he's a great coach along with Perillo, and battle of some California guys right here in San Diego.
Nice.
I love that this is in San Diego. That's really cool because Cruz lives there, and Vera, I don't know where he's from in California, but I know he lives there. So yeah, I think that card's gonna be awesome when it happens. I'm sure the atmosphere over there will be kind of crazy, but. Yeah, I mean, that's about it, honestly, on this one. I think that we've covered everything we need to cover. Like I said, it's going to be a little hiatus from us for a little bit on the YouTube while we work on this doc. You guys won't be disappointed. Stay tuned. Yeah, man. So we'll be back with that as soon as we can be. So see you then.